I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. I just tap these holes and we're all good. I'm going to take a countersink to those before I tap them. This is a 2-flute tap. Used to like them because they're very strong. The 4-flute taps have a much thinner cross section. These were nice for putting into tapping machines because they didn't break. 4-flute taps work. They work okay. Little problem with any stress on them other than straight push and radial, and they snapped off. And then you had this little cross-shaped doohickey down there stuck in the bottom of the hole. Tap is also designed to push the chips ahead of it so it doesn't wad up and load the tap. And you can see the chips moving through the hole. Yeah, pushing right down just like I want them to. That means you don't want to have this kind going into a blind hole because it just packs the chips down on the bottom. You want to have one that draws the chips out. But since this is a through hole, I'm not in any trouble. Once again, anchor tapping fluid. Great stuff. If you haven't done it already, you can go online and go to their website, the Anchor Chemical Company. Phone number is 800-466-9925. And you go online and you tell them you'd like a sample and they'll send you a bottle just like this one. Great stuff. Still a little too long, but not bad. Maybe it'll just touch the end on the grinder and take care of that one. If you order an Allen wrench, you're buying one from the Allen Company. This was actually from the Allen Company. Has Allen on the handle. You don't find these very often anymore. This one came from the Restore. Some tool maker from back in the day when they actually had Allen wrenches and Allen bolts had that in his toolbox. Now this, despite opinions to the contrary, goes on like that. A little bit of hardware. The reason this goes on this direction is so that this will clear. This gets cut off. And then the linkage that goes down to the treadle will clear this boss. If I tried to go the other direction, I'd have to put a big standoff on it, and that would make everything a lot wider and just awkward. So by turning it like this, piece cake. That way I can just lock this down like that. And take the other one. Oh, I suppose I should do this. I can clamp to this plate, but it's not going to hold it a lot because this is just loose in there. But that's for illustration purposes. I set this one on there, 180 degrees opposed. And I have two crank arms done. Now once again, I said I'm not going to cut this off. Once again, I said I'm not going to cut this off because I might have to move this out. Because the big wheel is twice the diameter of that small wheel over there. It might take more torque just to make it roll. But even though I double this crank throw, you would think that would slow it down. Well, it really doesn't, because it just makes the foot pedal travel further. Gives you more leverage. But but the wheel can actually run slower because it's twice the diameter. It can go half the speed. And still do a passable job. Because it's not about RPMs, it's about surface feet. There. Not quite as nice as this, but this has got a lot of mass rolling. Once you get it started, it doesn't want to stop. Okay. Crank arms are 99% done. Now it's time for the treadles. This is the treadle that I made up as a spare for that one. And since it's a nice working treadle, I'm just going to match this one to it. I had this one cut down and ready to go now for a better part of a year. Need to drill the holes, then drill the cross piece holes so that I can put the 3/8 bar through the bottom of the treadle grinder. And then I'll put the treadles on it, build up the cross pieces, and do all the linkages and everything. So I got a lot of work yet to do, but I'm head and shoulders further ahead than what I was this morning. Nice gaining ground on the grinder project. I kept feeling guilty every time I walked by that big stone laying out there in the garage, and it was in the way. It was just, I mean, it's safe and not going to be hit by a truck, but it's right in the middle of the walkway. So I get this grinder done, that's going to be a big plus. Going to add a lot of room to the garage, at least this much, and I'll be able to try a real full-size grinding wheel. The little one over there does an excellent job. It does plain blades better than any other grinder I've ever used. The water wheel, or the water drip, and the kind of stone that it lets it polish, it's just really amazing how well it works. And the things I learned on that one I'm applying towards this one. If you remember, all this framework and everything was cut out piece by piece from scratch. I'm going to drill the holes for the treadle pieces and get the treadles all done, and then I'll disassemble it, round off everything, smooth it up, sand all the edges, paint it, have it all done. Then I'll mount the wheel on the arbor and mount the arbor on the frame, and it'll be done. The last thing I'm going to do is put the wheel on it, because that is a major project. I'm probably going to have to rig up a hoist, bring in the tractor hoist or something to be able to do that, because it's a lot of dead weight and I don't want to drop it because it'll just shatter. Well, I got today's project done and time to go get washed up. We're going to have supper here in a little bit. If you have any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching. This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the US or 16 in the European Union, without the express written permission of the parents or legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.